Hello and welcome to my very first single reactionary video. I've done some in the past, although I've deleted them off YouTube. Um, and my channel name is Roadside Banter X. I haven't really done this before. I'm kind of new to this. Um, so I hope that this works out well. I'm basically just going to watch videos of people driving and um, react to them and hopefully do some like insights as to like why a person shouldn't be doing said um, driving just because it's not safe for other people on the road. Anyways, um, let's get into it, see what we find on this video. I haven't watched this video before, so it's just a live reaction basically. Oh, oh, buddy went around that corner way too fast, way too fast, way too fast. Yikes. Yeah, as you can see here, the yikes. Oh, a little bit of following the leader going on there. Even though the other guy was clearly going into that lane, he shouldn't have done that. You always want to make sure that you are paying attention to the vehicles that are coming because that was very unsafe. As you can see, the driver should have been able to see this vehicle here. Whoops. Right, so let's press play and keep going here. So yeah, see? This right here is what you call a classic follow the leader. This guy saw this guy going, and then he just kept going instead of actually pausing back here. Like as the guy was going forward, he should have just like literally stopped right here. Because then if he had stopped right here, he would have actually then took his eyes off the truck in front of him and then looked forward to the vehicle that was right here. But instead, he didn't do that. He just kept following the guy that was in front of him, right? And so you can see it play out like this, right? He keeps going, and it's like almost like, oh, wait, there's a vehicle here to my right. If I had taken my eyes off this black SUV long enough, I would have seen this very large vehicle. I mean, it's not that small, right? I mean, like, look at that. The truck here alone is about 16 feet. Then you got about 20 feet there of a camper trailer, right? Like, how small is that thing, right? It's not very small. It's really large. And then Buddy's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, and then it's like, yeah, he ended up touching the trailer because he wasn't paying attention. And if he had just stopped, would have avoided it. Yeah, he got the broken tire because he decided that he didn't want to stop. It's like it's not that hard to stop. Like this kind of stuff, it's a little hard. Thing comes out in the wind and you can't really slow down. Definitely hard for that one. Ooh, yeah, took out his light right there. Jeez. Well, see, now that's just stupid. I mean, thankfully this guy here was paying attention. Oh, really? Wow. Cyclists, I get you're trying to protect the environment and everything, but don't be stupid. Oh, yeah. If you know you're planning on changing lanes beforehand, or if you get to this point here, I always make a habit of like, if I realize I've made a bad choice, just follow along with the original choice that I had and then just turn back around because otherwise now you're having to force through traffic, right? Trying to get yourself around. He was in the middle lane here and now he wants to make a right-hand turn and he's backing up everybody behind him because he decided that he wanted to change lanes, right? And now you've got this guy stopped here. He's stuck. Who knows what's going on here? Yeah, not cool, man. Not cool at all. If you make a mistake, just correct it a different way. Correct it a different way. Ooh, the police are now involved. Oh no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not sure what's going on here. Let's see. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, police chase. Yeah, not much you can do with that one. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. A little close. I would give a little bit more time in between. It really should be, if you're driving on the highway doing highway speeds, honestly, it should be like, 3 to 4 seconds behind somebody, right? Because you don't know what's happening in front. And if you're too close, you'd literally just bash into somebody. But we got some road rage going on here. Somebody doesn't like how the other person is driving, and so they're feeling some type of way about it. Again, just don't engage, like, really. You need to keep yourself safe. And if the other person has a problem with you, well, that's their problem. That's not you. The road is not a place to hash out your feelings about other people. It's a place to get to where you need to go safely. Yeah, see, now they're touching. It always happens, always happens. And I love this video content like from this guy here. This place has some really cool videos. I watch them like all the time. Really good channel. Absolutely. I'm subscribed to them. Very good. I like their content. They got good stuff. Oh, you cannot react to that. Oh, oh, buddy came off the hill too fast. Now, there's one thing I want to point out here. I'm actually a professional driver. I have my commercial license, and I have the license to be able to drive one of these kind of things. And I'll tell you something. There is so much power in these trucks to haul 80,000 pounds, right? And some are even more than that. And you got to have a special license to drive those ones that, like take heavy, heavy, heavy machinery that are more than 80,000 pounds. There's like special license. Anyways, there's so much power in these back tires. And this guy here, I don't know what is happening here, but as you can see, it's kind of shiny. So that means that this is wet road. But he obviously tried to gun it to get onto the highway and literally spun himself around. There's all this weight back here because these are your drive tires, right? And not a lot of weight to hold the vehicle to the ground. So you got all this power and not a lot of weight. And this engine is designed to haul 80,000 pounds. Buddy spun out because he just simply was not paying attention. And then you got this poor guy sees this happening, but he's doing highway speeds. I don't know, maybe he's speeding. Maybe he's doing the speed limit. Who knows? But there is no way for him to be able to react to this sort of thing because this just comes out of nowhere. But again, in these type of road conditions at night, I always drive with the air of caution. It's like you don't know what's coming up, right? Like you've no idea what's coming up. Drive with the air of caution, slow down a little bit, give yourself some speed, some time to react to things. But even still in this situation, he may not have even had time to slow down because it's wet conditions, right? And that's where you do want to err on the side of caution. But he's in the outside lane. He's not going to think Buddy's going to come over into his lane. This back area is black. The road is black. It's not very bright. Yeah, not a lot of time to react. But driver of this truck, man, he should have been paying attention to the road conditions, knowing how light his truck is. With all of that power behind his wheels, he should not have been trying to do whatever he was doing to cause himself to spin out because these are the steer tires. These are the drive tires. So there's 4 tires on either side. So that 8 wheels of traction pushing the ability to haul 80,000 pounds, right? Pushing this light thing. Now this truck here, like the trailer of these truck and trailers, now they on average weigh what a 5-ton truck weighs without anything, right? On average, it's approximately about the weight of a 5-ton truck, right? This thing is capable, like I said many times, capable of hauling 80,000 pounds. So you got the weight of 5 tons approximately pushing down on these tires, but you have the capacity to haul 80,000 pounds. So then you got stuff like this happening, right? Like the damage caused to this vehicle because he just was not driving safe for the road conditions, right? You got merging traffic. Who knows what that guy was thinking, right? We don't know. Now you got multiple cars involved in this accident because Buddy decided not to drive for the road conditions, right? Like you can see all this moisture. It's not dry and it's night. Let's see what we got going on here in this next video. That's a pretty decent merge. Now this guy here, whoop, I don't know what's going on here. Let me just back up here. Like I said, this is one of my first solo videos here, so I'm learning as I go. I do hope that you're patient with me as I go through this, but let's see. So this is an interesting thing here. See this guy here? This camera, right? The guy that's operating the camera here. He's in his lane. He's doing his business. He's just hanging out, right? This guy here, you can tell he's just coming right on over. Now you see this mirror here? Not a lot of drivers understand this, and those that don't have commercial licenses, but this mirror here, where my mouse is very clearly pointed, is actually designed to show what's down the side of this semi truck. Okay. So it's called a fender mirror. Some people call it other mirrors. I call it a fender mirror because it literally sits on the fender, right on the hood of the truck. Some people call them hood mirrors. I call them fender mirrors, right? Now this mirror here is more of a broad spectrum. It shows what's happening back here more, and then you do have this little bubble mirror that again shows you what's happening along the side. But this one here, if you're looking at this mirror when you're sitting in that truck, right? This mirror here literally will show this car. You can't not see this vehicle in this mirror because it's designed to show you what's literally right behind. Because all of this, including the top part here, is a huge blind spot. Now the driver is sitting like right here, right? He could do a shoulder check, but all he's going to see is basically this back part. He's not going to see this. This here is basically to make the shoulder check happen without actually looking over your shoulder, because you can't. All you would see is door and panel in the back here, the sleeper here. You're not going to see very much. So if he's going along, you see he's got his turn signal on. You saw it before I paused it, right? So he's not shoulder checking, right? He's coming over into this lane here. Now, the thing that really gets me is that Buddy coming up, like if I rewind the video a little bit, he's obviously right behind. Like this is him right here, right? So he's going to come up. He's going to do his lane. This guy does a lane change, then that guy does a lane change. So like, how can you not see the vehicle in front of you, right? This is him from behind. He's going to keep going and he's going to turn his signal on. There it is, right? We saw it. And he's going to try to get in behind the semi truck, basically pushing Buddy over. See, he's got his turn signal on. He's really trying to get him over, right? This is aggressive driving. And this kind of thing, for all you truckers out there, this kind of thing is what gives truckers a bad name. Now, there's a lot of excellent drivers out there, a lot of very excellent drivers. But this kind of bully driving on the road, honestly, is giving all truck drivers a bad name. And it's making other drivers, like the sedan drivers or the four wheelers, as truckers call them, they're not given respect to commercial drivers because of this kind of stuff, right? It's dangerous, it's not worth it. And if you just give yourself a few seconds, you're good to go, right? Patience on the road saves lives. If you're impatient and you're aggressive, not cool, man. Not cool. And look, he's even given him an aggressive finger because he wouldn't let him in. But this guy seriously pushed him out of the way, even though he was in the previous part of this video you saw. He was behind him. And he's just, this kind of stuff, not necessary. Not necessary. Now, I will say some four wheelers out there, definitely aggressive drivers, and they don't seem to pay attention to the bigger vehicles on the road, and they do shit that just like is not cool, right? It's not cool. Not cool. Not cool. They cut in front of you. They don't understand that the hood of the truck, the side passenger side of the truck, the whole truck is one big blind spot. And we can't see you when we're high up like that. Like literally can't see you. I've driven these trucks, right? For years I've driven these trucks, these big commercial vehicles, and there's big blind spots everywhere. But that does not mean as a truck driver you need to take the road back aggressively like that, because a truck weighing 80,000 pounds kills people. And that's important to understand and to remember. As a four wheeler, remember these big vehicles, they have huge blind spots everywhere and they need to have space on the road. But as a truck driver, commercial truck driver, don't be so aggressive that people are aggressive back with you in a vehicle that is so much smaller than you. It's just not worth it, man. Just have patience and give people room. That's how you save lives. Shoulder checking, using your mirrors, keeping your head on a swivel, and being patient on the road. Nobody's out to get you on the road. They don't know who you are. Just be safe. Just be safe. And you don't have to worry about stuff happening because it's just not worth it, man. Not worth it at all. Now he's going to come back again, right? Now he's going to push him off. What is this truck driver proven? What's he proven? He's doing nothing. It's not teaching that driver anything. He's not saying, like, hey, don't be an aggressive, rude driver. He's not saying anything like that. He is just literally saying, I'm a jerk on the road and I don't feel like I need to share the road and I need to make everybody else pay for my bad mood. But these kind of vehicles are so big and so heavy, when they get into accidents, they kill people. And 99% of the time, the state trooper is going to accuse the driver because he's got a commercial license of knowing better. Even though sometimes you can't predict stupid, sometimes sedan drivers, they don't understand, or four-wheelers, they don't understand the complexity of driving a big vehicle like this. But it does not mean that a semi truck driver needs to go in an aggressive tyrant and be aggressive and dangerous on the road. Your opinion can be fought a different way. Pushing people off the road and potentially causing a car accident, not the way to do it, man. Not the way to do it. I 100% disagree with this kind of stuff. And now this sedan or this four-wheeler, the Camry, man, just back off and let him have his bad day. You are not proving anything either by trying to, like, do whatever you're trying to do here. Yeah, this guy's being a total jerk and he's being totally inappropriate on the road. But playing the fiddle with a big, huge truck, absolutely not worth it. Not worth it at all. Because if he misses his turn and he flips over on top of you, buddy, it's not worth it. Again, here we go. We got road conditions. Slow down. Just because you got an SUV doesn't mean you're gonna have four wheels of traction. You know? Yeah, you gotta slow down. Oftentimes in these road conditions, what I do is I like to use my gears. If I'm coming down the hill, instead of using my brakes, because once you brake, even though you got ABS and ABS is designed not to lock the tires up, you can still instantly kind of lose traction when you're like slowing down from a speed and you use your brakes. What I do is I just gear down, right? Like most vehicles have like 4 to like 6 speeds in their automatics. Most of them are only four. So you got like drive, you got like third gear, you got second, you got first, and then some of these new vehicles with the kind of transmissions where you can just switch up and down. I forget what they call that now. I forget what they call it. It's like tiptronic shifting or something like that, where it's electronic shifting. You still just gear down. Put it into the lower gear so that you can avoid this kind of stuff. Right. Oh, hey buddy. Keep your eyes on the road. Look at this. Yeah, here he goes. How are you gonna come back from that? Right? How are you gonna come back from that? Is what you're looking in your passenger side, is what's over here so important? And he's a worker, right? Maybe he's never been done this before, maybe he has. I don't know. But honestly, keep your attention on the road because this is narrow, right? But he's trying to correct himself from going over this way, but he corrected himself going over that way. And then he never looked back up to make sure that where he's actually going is where he turned his steering wheel. And then there's no way to recover from that, right? Now he's got damage to the commercial vehicle or to his company vehicle, potentially damage to himself, you know. Whatever is in your in here is not as important. And now he's got to kick his way out. Not cool, man. So here you go. Now this is a good example of what I was saying earlier. You see these little fender mirrors, right? So this vehicle here, I will guarantee you, this semi driver, unless he's looking inside of this mirror or even the side mirror that's over here, he's not going to actually see that car at all, right? Because the whole truck is basically one big blind spot. Like, it's imagine driving inside this van here and all you have is the front windows, but you're back here, right? This whole thing is a a blind spot, right? And you see how high this vehicle is? This hood is almost the same height as this van over here, right? This van is probably about 6.5 feet. Well, probably about five. I forget how tall these things are, but they're pretty tall. They're like, the average height of a man is about, 5'7" to 6 feet, right? So it's somewhere in that range. The hood of this vehicle, when a man is standing here and he's in front, he's servicing, his head will top out about here, right? And then he reaches up and he pulls the hood down. So this is a very high vehicle. So there's not a lot of visual here, and that's why these fender mirrors are really important. Now, if you watch it, you see him, he's sitting right here, right? He's coming up in the fender mirror there, right? So unless this truck driver is 100% paying attention to his fender mirror, which it's hard to do because you also have to look in front of you, otherwise, there'd be problems, right? But this four-wheeler here, right, sedan driver, he's going to start turning over. You can see the angle of his car. Now just watch. See? Now this semi-truck driver, chances are he can see this part of the car. Because now you got to keep in mind the camera of this dash cam is high up on the on the window, all the way at the very top. You can tell by the way that the angle of the camera that this is sitting at the top. The truck driver sits maybe about 18 inches off the top of the steering wheel, maybe like 12 inches, right? So he's sitting back, he's sitting over to the left behind this camera, he's in the back. So chances are if he's looking over at this angle here, he might see this part of the car. He's not going to see all of this. The only reason why you can see this much of the car is because, again, the height of the camera, right? So let's see what happens here. And look, they touch, right? So the minute they touch, that driver is suddenly aware that that car is right here. And this kind of stuff is is really honestly what causes a lot of semi truck drivers to get very frustrated with drivers out there who do this kind of cutting in front. Now, I would also suggest that even though this car that the guy that's driving this car was like in there doing this kind of stuff, like driving along, he may have been kind of partially aware of the semi truck driver or the semi truck in front of him, but he was so busy focusing on getting in behind this guy that he really wasn't paying attention to the fact that he was driving beside a semi truck. And that's really important. You have to pay attention to your surroundings. It can't be about your destination, it has to be about the journey, right? So each step along the way to getting to where you are is a part of the journey of getting to where you need to be safely, right? You pay attention to the surroundings, you're going to get to where you need to go safely, right? Because if you don't, well, now there's an accident. Oh, see, even I didn't see that. I was so busy talking to this guy, but like, let's see if you can see this from far back. So this van is here. There's your construction truck right here, right? I mean, I kind of saw it, but I mean, I'm not driving also, but let's see. So the white van gets out of the way. This guy's coming up. Now he would have seen that up there, but see, he's focusing on that. And he's also impatient. So he's going to start cutting over right away. Because see, there's the construction vehicle. This guy's doing his thing, right? The trucker would have seen that long ways away because of how high up he is. But he wouldn't have necessarily seen that. And he would have been paying attention to this guy going left of this construction vehicle and where he is in the lane and where he would be distance wise. He's not going to necessarily 100% see this guy immediately. And that's really hard to do, right? It's really hard to do that. And then you end up with this situation, right? All because this guy here needed to be over in this lane just right now and was not paying attention to the fact. And if this guy had done a shoulder check, quick shoulder check, would have instantly made that guy aware of the semi truck beside him. And this semi truck, in my opinion, he didn't do anything wrong here. He was doing his thing. He was just minding his own, driving, paying attention to the van in relation to this construction vehicle. This guy here, 100%, in my opinion, was at fault. But you let me know what you think in the comments. The semi truck, Porsche, construction vehicle. You tell me what you think, who's at fault here. In my professional opinion, definitely this I think it's a Mercedes. I think it's a Mercedes crossover. Anyways, it's I think it's his fault. Well, you let me know what you think. And now they got to have a conversation because, oh, it's a Porsche. Okay, my mistake. So it's a Porsche. And this kind of stuff, there's not a lot you can do here. This guy is clearly being affected by his life choices. And yeah, you really can't do much there. That's unfortunate. Hope that guy gets better and gets off the streets. All right. Yeah, okay, so this is another good example of impatient driving. There's a double solid orange line everywhere that I know of in North America from Canada. Everywhere I know in North America, you cannot cross over a double solid line. It's illegal. It's not safe to do this at any point. And they put it here because of these hills, because with the hills, you have low visibility, right? And when it's really super curvy, double solid yellow line, you don't need to cross over that. That's a sign of impatience, 100% impatience. And then now he's really mad because, hey, maybe this guy was like, you're not going fast enough for me. And then this kind of road rage stuff, yeah. This is a hard one. Like, what would you do? I mean, you could maybe go in between the sign and the truck to get around because he's going out the driver's side. By the time the guy realizes that the car is gone, the car is gone. By the time he gets out and comes back here, the car is gone. You could potentially fit through there. I wouldn't go left necessarily because you can't see any kind of traffic coming by. Right? I would do a quick look in my rear view mirror and be like, "Hey, is there somebody coming behind me?" If not, I would back up and then just find a way to go really wide around the guy, right? Because this kind of engagement is dangerous. You don't know what the guy's coming with, right? And there's no need to engage with people. This guy here, maybe a little patience would be nice for him, right? Keep himself, right? But what do you do? Okay, so this guy's backing up. Yeah, back up, especially if you can see that see, now you don't know what the guy's got. Yeah, just get out of the way. 100%. Try to keep yourself safe. You don't know what kind of bad day that guy's having. You don't need his bad day, right? Oh, wow. What was that guy doing? See, I don't know what this guy was looking at. Maybe he was distracted by the massive bouncingness. Now, this is a day cab. They tend to not be as heavy, right? Some of them also not as powerful as your long haulers, but they do still have to meet DOT or CVSE requirements as far as weight for pulling trucks. CVSE is Canadian, DOT is American, and they have road weight restrictions. So I'm not sure what this guy was looking at or not looking at that he missed the upcoming stopped traffic. He was bouncing pretty good here, you know, but he should have been able to see the stop traffic, right? He should be able to detail that, right? And he's now trying to correct his mistake. I'm not sure. But this is hardcore dangerous. This looks like it's the Florida Keys, the highway that goes across the Florida Keys. Yeah, yeah, that's really bad. Yeah. You always got to keep your wits about you, man. Like regardless of whether or not you're bouncing along the road and things are distracting because the road is bouncing, you still he should have been able, because like as you see, the traffic is not flowing with the horizon. Like as you're coming up, it's staying the same. That should give you an indication that things are, you know, stopped. Who knows what happened here? It's like he suddenly became aware that the traffic wasn't flowing. And him as a commercial vehicle man, he's a commercial vehicle driver card holder. I don't know what to say. Um, yeah, see, he's a Cisco truck, so he's got food. He's a lighter truck for sure. Day cabs, right? It's really easy to get complacent when you're doing a route, constantly doing the same thing over again. It's super easy, super super easy to get complacent, but you still got to keep your wits about you. Turn your radio on, I don't know, listen, something that's random, right? Open the window if you're on a place that obviously is like this, the Florida Key Highway, very long stretch of highway, right? And just keep your wits about you. Do what you need to do before, if you feel like it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it because he could have killed somebody with his action here. 100% could have killed somebody. This truck weighs more than these things combined if it's loaded with food, right? Different size trailers, 53 being the longest. With there's also B train where you have 253 or 240s or 248s, right? There's also 20-foot trailers as well. They're not very common, but they're out there. But yeah, just keep your wits about you because this kind of stuff is preventable by just paying attention. I've been driving for years. I've got over 20 years of driving experience, about 5 years of commercial driving experience. You want to keep your wits. It's really important, right? And again, if you're having road rage incidents, you know, this isn't that though. I spoke too soon. This is definitely not driving for the road conditions and they touched each other. You don't need to touch other people on the road. You don't know who they are. You don't know where they've been. You want to just keep yourself, keep your distance 100%. 100% want to keep your distance because now you got to get out in the rain. You got to stop traffic. And you, right here, this becomes a road hazard. People aren't willing to pay attention necessarily. I do apologize for the stops in this video. There's been a couple because my headset will actually turn off when it thinks it's not connected to the computer. Even though I'm talking to it, it still shuts off. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. It's actually a gaming computer or a gaming headset rather for like an Xbox or a PlayStation. So anyways, it's annoying, but back to the video here. So this becomes a road hazard, right? Because as we've seen in previous videos, people don't pay attention always. They're not looking. They're thinking about where they want to go, not how they're getting to where they want to go. And this kind of stuff happens, right? Obviously, Buddy was too close. Maybe he was looking down at his kneecaps. Who knows what he was doing? But he slid into this guy. Now he's got to get out. Then there's people on the road with other people driving in poor weather conditions. Becomes a hazard. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. You see these videos where, people are out at the side of an accident, somebody's not paying attention, they drive into the accident scene. That happens sometimes. It's always best to just prevent yourself from getting into an accident because now you got to get higher premiums if for your insurance. In parts of Canada and United States, it happens for sure. It's just best to just stay in your vehicle. And the way you can stay in your vehicle by driving with caution because it's obvious, like you can see from the puddles, like how much rain is occurring. It's very wet, very slick. The road condition visibility isn't very high. So just pay attention, right? Now we got like this isn't necessary either. See this guy here? Accident waiting to happen. 100% accident waiting to happen. And for all we know, this is the guy that actually bumped into that white pickup truck and he's trying to get away from the scene. Illegal, by the way, 100% illegal. You cannot leave the scene of an accident. You have to stay and talk to the police and do your thing, right? And now he's doing it again. Like what's with this guy? We don't know. We don't know what his problem is, but this kind of stuff is very dangerous. Road rage, forcing people, dangerous, illegal, right? And get arrested, get a fine, get all kinds of stuff with this kind of thing. And who knows what his problem is? Who knows what his problem is? But this kind of driving in this kind of road condition, really, really sad. Very sad. Ooh, what the heck, buddy? Although honestly, when my kids were little, I like to drive through these big puddles because they're just so much fun. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna drive like this guy. Like this guy's just driving into people to who knows what he's doing. Who not? This guy hits 4 cars. 4 cars. That's crazy. Use your signal, people. It's not that hard to turn the turn signal on. Lets other people know what you're doing. It's not about getting caught. Yeah, see, and this guy, again, talk about patience, right? He's so eager. And who knows, maybe this is a road raging incident from before. Who knows? But now you've got an accident, right? All because of patience was let go. And now you got a flipped upside down vehicle. Highway shut down for everybody, all just because you're so eager to get to where you're going instantly. And honestly, people, I'll tell you, I'm going to say this again and again. It's not about your destination, it's about how you get there. It's a step. Like you don't get to the top of the mountain when you look at the bottom and you get to the top, you don't go blink and then suddenly you're there. No, you got to climb to the top. And you got to pay attention where you put your foot and you got to do all this kind of stuff, right? Driving is the same way. Driving is 100% the same way. Let's see what's going on here. Oh! It's hard to say what's going on here. Really hard to say what's going on here. This is the front of the truck. This is not the back of the truck. She almost jumped over into off the thing there. Wonder what was going on there. Again, pay attention, people. I realize that this is dark conditions, you know, but this guy may have been down the wrong lane, drunk driving. Dangers of drunk driving are not limited to the driver. Yeah. Yeah, don't drive and drink, man, or drink and drive rather. It's not worth it. Get home safely. Yeah. And it's usually not the drunk guy. It's usually not the drunk guy that gets killed. It's usually the people that are innocently driving around. Let's see here. Again, I haven't watched this video before, so this is live reactions. I'm just reacting to the video without actually seeing it before, so I don't know what I'm getting into with each clip. Everything here looks good. Yeah, let's see here what goes on. So what is... Oh, I see. SUV tries to go the wrong way down the off-ramp. Honestly, the fact that they honked at me was the most egregious thing. I owe USA. Honestly, I was wondering. Actually, it seemed like okay, interesting. Whoa, holy smokes, man! Phew. Somebody was driving too fast. Wow. How do you even go down the road like that? Oh, share the space, people. Goodness me. Oh, that's why you give time. That's why you give time. So, yeah, chances are Buddy stopped immediately. Okay, this is another thing. This is another thing, people. I see it all the time. Like blinkers, no blinker mafia is like everywhere. Or they wait to the very last second to stop and then turn on their signal and then expect people behind them to like kind of figure out what the deal is. It's like, no, man. Turn your signal on. If you know you're turning into a place and you have time to turn your signal on and slow down and let people behind you, nobody's a mind reader, right? Nobody's tuned into ESPN, I tell you. Nobody knows what's going on inside your brain unless you actually tell them. Like you put on your signal, you slow down, letting everybody know that you're going to be turning into some kind of driveway up ahead so that because otherwise you end up like this, right? Like who's going to react to that, right? Who's going to have time to, because it looked like there was enough distance. Here's the car here. Here's the one that is going to turn into the lane up there. So that seems like the guy's given him enough room, but then suddenly stops and then changes lanes or turns into the driveway. You can't do that. You got to give people time. And you know, a part of that is paying attention to your mirrors. A part of having your head on the swivel, like I said back in the beginning of the video, is your mirrors. Use your mirrors. Your mirrors can be a part of your head swiveling because you can't turn your head 360 like a, like a 180, like a an owl, right? Our brain, our bodies aren't built like that. So you got to let people know. And if you got to sit, you got somebody behind you, pay attention to what's going on behind you, right? Because you're not the only one on the road. There's other people. That's why there's parking lots and the roads because there's other people. And then the guy, like he should have given a little bit more time, this red car here, but it looked like he was doing pretty good, but he's still kind of creeping. Sorry. Still kind of creeping, a little too close, a little too close, a little too close. And the chances are the guy here just put his foot off the accelerator instead of actually applying the brake, right? So but let's see what happens here. And I think this is going to be my last video clip here. And yeah, see, just you got to give that time. You got to give that time. Very important. Yeah, right. Like just so quick. Anyways, I want to thank you very much for watching my video. I also want to thank these guys here. Fantastic place to find great driving content. And they have good clips and good thoughts and stuff like that. And I'm not reading any of the video texting that they did. I'm simply just putting my own point of view, my own spin on it. If you want to stop the video and watch and read their content or their thoughts, absolutely go for it. They got great thoughts a lot of the time. And I very much like these guys and I like their content. I like you to, go over there, check their channel, subscribe. You know, they're very good. I enjoy them greatly, right? They've got lots of good stuff, right? So anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and I hope that you're safe out there, right? Because being safe is a part of the game. And I hope that you like and subscribe. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.